Tuh, mau live. Where's the live?
We are live right now.
Hello, are we live right now?
Yeah,
Let me
definitely,
see.
I think so.
Is it live? Okay. Hi, hello. Okay.
It's a lot of fun doing things the first time, right? So, hi,
Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah.
Are we live right now?
Okay. Welcome to this. Okay, just hold on.
Hi, welcome to PIPtree. I'm Justin. Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah, I'm Jeremy. Okay. So since this is our first time we are doing a PIPtree live from our PIPtree HQ. So we are a bit about uncomfortable, right, so far, right? Because we are speaking actually with the phone in front. That's actually my phone, right? So today we are before we start this one, right? So today we are going to talk about three major topics, right? So this was Justin and my Sifu, and the chief trainer from PIPtree, and she will share about three major topics in the US going to happen right now. Okay. So Justin, can you continue?
Yep, sure, no problem. Suddenly I feel like a newscaster already. Well, anyway, today I want to talk about what's happening in the US and how it's going to affect the US stock market as well as the currency market, right? So one of the major happenings that actually happened late last year was this. The US is actually going through one of the longest shutdown ever. Now, think of shutdown something like this. You know, you're going on a long holiday, you don't need to go back to work because basically you can't work, but it's unpaid leave. Okay, so we are going through that phase, the US people, the US government is going through that phase, and as of today, it is the 28th day they're having this shutdown, and it is longest ever. Previously, the longest shutdown was at 21 days, and now we are moving into 28. Okay, this shutdown started on the 22nd of December 2018, and the cause of the shutdown is very simple. It's done by one person, okay? One person, and that person is him, our Trump guy, right here. So, you know, I've spoken to a lot of these US citizens and also economists. You know, it's either you love him or you really loathe him, you hate him, you don't like him. I can't find a person who says in the middle. Trump is okay. There's no okay. Either I love him or he's just gone. He's dead. Okay. And one of the major fights between Trump and the government is this. Now, what you're looking here on my right is not the Great Wall of China. You can call it the Great Wall of US or the Great Wall of Mexico, US or whatever, or the Great Wall of Trump. Okay. Now, what Trump wants is this. He wants to include 5.7 billion in funding to fund this wall to divide the US and Mexico, because he thinks, okay, and he and few of his people thinks that majority of crimes and drugs and everything is caused by the people on the other side of the border, aka the Mexicans, and it should be kept out by all means. And what's happening here is that the true fact is this border right here is actually home to millions and millions of people, and they are actually providing a lot of benefits, a lot of commercial activities, commercial value to the US, which plays a very, very large share, you know, in pumping lifeblood into the US. But then again, Trump, his whole idea is to make America great again. As you know, if you're a Trump guy, you will have the red hat saying "Make America great again." Now, what they're thinking, Trump is thinking, is that these immigrants here is taking away the jobs of the US citizens. Now, but on the other side of the camp, these people are thinking in a different way. They're saying that these immigrants, you know, are actually doing jobs, performing jobs that the US people don't want. So you know, there are both sides of camps. But you think here, even in Malaysia, right? You have a lot of the immigrants coming in and actually doing all this construction work, all this hard work, and there are a lot of jobs that I also think that a lot of Malaysians don't want to do, and it's being filled by the immigrants, the foreigners here, right? And I think it's a necessity, and the only thing is that you should find a proper balance. But Trump is just saying that here's the wall, here you go, get out. That's what he wants, and that's what is causing this blockage, right? Now, what I'm going to show you next is the US market, the S&P 500 chart right here. Okay, so the moment, as you can see, the moment Trump, you know, started with his policies, and also the next topic, one of the reasons why you saw a big drop in the US market right about here is, okay, let's talk about the what do you call the war first, and the government shutdown. Now, when the government shut down, this right about this bottom, right? This is caused by another event called also by Trump. Now, what's happening here? What do I see is that after the shutdown, there are a lot of things you can't do right there in the US, and the market actually took this time to recover, right? And I believe at this current point, all right, at 2616, it is a very critical value. Now, the US market is not just only about the government shutting down, all right? There are actually two important factors that's causing this problem with the US market. And to me, apart from the government shutdown, this is the single largest problem that Trump has to face and do it properly, because he is actually clashing with China. Now, if you know one thing, in 2008 when the US market was in trouble, China single-handedly saved the US market and the whole world market. And right now, Trump is going to fight with them. Okay, so this of course will cause a lot of jitters among economists.
Yeah, before Justin continue, right? If let's say you can hear our voice, please you comment one over there. If you comment one, then we make sure that you can hear our voice very clear. Okay, you just comment one, right?
And guys, if you have any questions, just type it in there, comments, and I'll answer. Okay, so now back to the charts again. Now this part here, right? You had the US imposing tariffs with China and China retaliating, and that really caused this severe drop in the market. Now what happened is that Trump is, of course, he's definitely going to be worried, very, very much. I would be if I'm the president there, and if my re-election is going to depend on the market. It looks like this, no way, people won't like it. So what's happening here is that this severe drop actually put some basic sense back into Trump, and at the current moment in December, what they did was that they call a truce. Okay, so because on the 1st of January, Trump was supposed to increase another 25% on the Chinese goods, but what they did was they came to agreement, let's call for a truce, and this truce is not for long, it's only for 90 days, and it ends in February. That's the reason why they have to deal with this and deal with it fast. So that truce here is that we're going to wait a bit and we're going to see what's news. So what's going to happen is that right now the whole market is waiting for this. There's 200 billion worth of goods still waiting, hanging, awaiting this discussion between the US and China. Now any moment right now we have to wait, and if there's no agreement at this area, I think we're going to see move downwards. Now let's talk from a technical perspective. I don't know, you can see there's a blue color line here. You can see that. Yeah. Now this to me, based on calculations, this is an area that I believe price will have to retreat a bit. Okay, and I don't know. I still believe that it's going to come down no matter what the outcome of the discussion is temporarily, and for the US market to recover, it has to close above a certain value, which I'm going to give up later on. Okay, but now you can see from here now it's 2008. To be exact, 2,799.1. Okay, they have to have a closing price. The S&P 500 need a closing price above 2,799.1 for me to believe that this market is in full recovery. Okay, now another reason why Trump is having a lot of headaches is because of the next picture. You know who's this? This is the chairman of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, and Trump actually appointed this guy in. Now, after appointing him, he's having a big headache because he found that you just can't remove a Fed chairman just like this, right? You can tell him that you're unhappy with what he's doing, but you can't fire him. So now both of them have conflicting ideas. One guy, which is Trump, wants rates to be down because he wants to be compared with Obama. He said, look at Obama for 8 years. He didn't increase a rate at all or decrease a rate at all. And look at me. I'm like, it's increasing. Come on, what are you doing? Okay. And whereas Powell, being the chairman, knows that the US market, if it doesn't increase the rates, you're going to see 2008 all over again, right? So what is happening is that lately Trump commented on his Twitter and in all social medias, and he made it very, very clear that he is saying Jerome Powell is endangering the US market by increasing the interest rates. Full stop. Now he said this, I'm going to read it. I'm just saying this. I'm very unhappy with the Fed because Obama had 0 interest rates. Okay, so that's very clear. It's always, he wants to compare with Obama, the one of the famous US presidents, right? And he told Wall Street Journal, right, on Tuesday, every time we do something great, he, as in Jerome Powell, raises the interest rates. So that's what he's telling, he's just really unhappy. And I believe one thing is that pressure, okay, he's giving a lot of pressure to the Federal Reserve, and that pressure actually affected Jerome Powell. And lately, the last FOMC meeting, and we also saw the minutes, the Fed more or less has already cooled down their perspective towards increasing interest rates. And now they are adopting a stance where I said, we're going to look at the market. We believe that yes, the US market is good. The US market is good with good numbers coming out. But we have to adopt a very careful strategy looking into increasing future rates because of the world uncertainty, the economic uncertainty facing the whole world right now, right? So with that, it's more or less helped cool the recovery in the market during the shutdown. And what's really, that statement alone actually affected another market, which is the currency market. Now, the euro, I'm going to talk about the euro because it's, if you understand the currency market, the euro stands about 56% of the dollar index. So if you're talking about trading the euro, basically you are going against the opposite direction of the US dollars. That's why, and euro being one of the most traded currency, that's why I want to bring it up as my example in the next chart, right here. So for me, it's still the same. What happened here is that the euro was in a prolonged, euro dollar was in a prolonged sell trend, right? And my mandate is still the same, okay? It is still selling from established high, but you can't simply sell from any high right now. It has to be an established high, because the moment Jerome said, I'm going to cool down in hiking the rates, practically what it did is that it put in all the brakes into the euro dollar, bearish momentum right now. So at best, probably you're going to see it moving sideways. So a very cool strategy to adopt right now is only selling it from established highs and buying it from really established lows. And what are the established highs and established lows? If you can see, I plotted out two levels. Okay, now the established ones are the longer term ones. It's at 1.17737 and one more is 1.18065. That's the resistance levels. Now if you feel that you want to take higher risks, okay, now this is something that I don't want beginners to do, but if for the advanced people, you know what you're doing, you can control your targets well, then the short-term resistance is at 1.14608 and 1.15588. Okay, those are the resistance levels, and these are the places where people look for weakness in the euro dollar and start selling it following the main trend. Now as for the support, it's at 1.12901 to 1.12427. So these are the levels that we are looking at the current moment for the euro. And early on, the US market, right, the critical value was just now 2799.1. Okay, so that's the end of my report for this week. Jeremy, you want to add anything?
Yeah, so basically Justin has shared the major news that's going to happen, and what we need to notice about is the euro dollar market. And I believe that some of you mostly can understand we are speaking in English, right? So if let's say some of your students that you have difficulties listening to English, we're actually planning to come up with the Mandarin classes, right? So the Mandarin classes we are speaking purely in the Chinese. We saw 讲中文呐，所以其实我们是可以讲中文，可以讲英文。所以如果你们听了这个from Justin Khoo，如果你们不明白的话，你们其实可以在 comment 里面打中文，我们可以解释。因为我们有一个讲师他其实是讲中文的再邀请Kevin 来一下。
不是我直接是 Kevin
OK， 这位Kevin 介绍大家，给大家介绍一下。
大家好，我叫 Kevin。所以其实我们从今年开始，我们将要用华语来教课，所以我们陆续会用做一些 live 是用华文的。如果谁很希望这个 live 用华语来讲的可以 comment 一下吗？所以我们才知道是不是大众在要求这个 live。
Okay, so that's the end of it, right?
Okay, before we end, right? So actually tomorrow we'll have one seminar in our training center. So actually inside the posting area, right, you can see the registration link. You can register tomorrow 3 to 5 in PIPtree we at Vantage Tanjung Tokong, right? Vantage Tanjung Tokong. So from 3 to 5, right, you can click the registration link and come over here. We are talking about our course and our tradings. How can trade become living? How we use our trading plan to actually earn more consistent income every single month. Okay, is anything else?
Yeah, before we end here, I'd like to wish all our Indian friends happy Thai Pusam, everybody, and happy holidays.
Okay, see you.
Bye.
Okay, any question? Just post and comment. We'll come back to you later on. Okay, bye bye. See you.
Bye bye. Okay, that's a cut. That's a wrap.